Okay, so let's look at this question. So this one is a power on a power and also a power on a coefficient. So we could write this out separately. We could say 25 to the power of 1/2, and at the same time we could go m to the power of 16 to the power of 1/2. Now, remembering that power half is actually the square root, and so we can go the square root of 25 is 5. It's always considered to be the positive square root. Now remember, power on a power is when you multiply. So 16 times 1/2, or 1/2 of 16 if you prefer it that way. And so that would give us 5m8. Next one, so we've got 4 over 3a to the power of -2. Now, my preference is always to deal with the negative first, but that's up to you, so that's my preference here. So remembering the negative takes the reciprocal, so it takes the denominator to the numerator and the numerator to the denominator in this case. Okay, so therefore we can rewrite that as 3a over 4 to the power of 2. Now note, all we've dealt with is the negative. We haven't dealt with the power of 2. So let's do the power of 2. So that's power on a variable, power on a coefficient, and also power on that coefficient, or in this case the denominator. So let's just write that out longhand. So that's 3 squared, a squared, all over 4 squared, which will give us 3 squared is 9, a squared, it's just a squared, and 4 squared is 16. So there we go. That's that one. So let's just move that one off and grab the next sheet. So for this one, what we're looking at here is, oh, this is an interesting one. This is where the bases are different. So the question says find an expression for x in terms of w. So that's what it's asking us to do. But it gives it to us in this form. It's got base 3 to the power of x, 4x plus 1, I should say, all divided by base 9 to the power of x and 27, which is equal to base 27 to the power of w over 3. So the first thing with these bases is that we can't deal with them unless they are all over the same base. Okay, at the moment we've got a 3, 9, and 27. So what we need to do is find out, is there a number that we can raise 9 to, and 27 to, and 3 to, so they're all over the same base? And the answer is yes, because we know that 3 to the power of 1 is 3, 3 to the power of 2 is 9, and 3 to the power of 3 equals 27. So we can put the whole lot over base 3. Now when we do this, let's put this one here. So this one's already in base 3, we don't need to. I think it's a good idea to make sure that you wrap the base that you're changing, so we're changing 9 into 3 squared, wrap it in a set of brackets, and then put on that external power, which is equal to, so we're going to rewrite the 27 as 3 to the 3. Okay, wrapping it again in brackets, power of w over 3. So now they're all over base 3. So now we can actually do some simplification on it. So let's just have a look at this. Just tidy this up. So we've got 3 to the 4x plus 1. Over here we got 3 to the 2x. And over here, just look, this is power on a power. So let me just write out what that means. Let me just get my little red pen to identify that. So it's all of this times 3. Let's just write out to make sure we understand what that means. So that's 3 times w over 3. Well, in that case, that's just simply going to become 3 times w divided by 3 is just w. Let's put that back into there so it doesn't slip out. Okay, so just make sure, if you're not sure, just recognize that 3 is 3 over 1. So 3 times w makes 3w, and 1 times 3 makes 3, or you can recognize that you can cancel that 3 out with that 3 out, and that just gives you w, whichever way you see it. So that's 3, and all of this, because it's power and a power, we multiply, this simply becomes w. Now, a note here, let me just push this sheet up a little bit. We've got 3 to the power of 4x plus 1 over 3 to the power of 2x. Remember, if it's power on power, and both the bases are the same, we can just simply subtract. So this is going to be 3, and 4x plus 1 minus 2x. Let's just do it over the side. 4x plus 1 minus 2x. Well, it's just going to be simply equal to 2x and that gives us 2x plus 1 equals 3w. Now I just make a point, stress up here, do not divide the bases up. Okay, do not go 3 divided by 3, don't do that. Okay, this represents 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 2x to them, how many that is, and this represents 3 times 3 times 3, 4x plus 1 of them. So you're not dividing out 1 3, which is the temptation, you're actually dividing out 2x lots of 3. So please just don't divide those out of there. Now, because this side equals that side, and all the bases are the same, therefore the only way that can work is as if the powers are the same. So let's have a look at that one. So that means that 2x plus 1 must be equal to w. It's become a linear equation, and now we can answer the question, which says find an expression for x in terms of w. So we need to solve for x. So let's just do this really quickly. Subtract 1 from both sides. That'll give us 2x, and then divide by 2 to both sides. So we end up with that guy there. Okay, so let's pause this video at this moment